Peace and blessings. My name is Renaldo. I am the icon overall father of the House of ALPHAOMEGA. And I went to the after party and it was a ball, and I was just so amazed by all the things I seen. I seen so many costumes. I seen people who looked like me, and not only that, but I also saw an energy, and I felt an energy that was really warm for me and welcoming. And so I was like, okay, and I was back every week after that. And then I started to walk balls, and once I started to walk balls, I really got the sense of family. I found people who wasn't a part of my original family, but I would say my gay family. And my gay family for me, because I grew up in the projects, and so I really didn't have like friends and like people who I could like talk to about who I was and the things that I was going through. And so when I found Ballroom, I found people who I could talk to and have conversations with about not only my existence as a Black man, but just like what I was going through. And for me, that felt very freeing and liberating. I saw voguing, and it was like an art form for me. I was like, wow, these are people stretching their bodies and being so long and moving certain ways. And I really just grasped to that because I was a dancer, and dance was something that for me I found because I really wasn't able to communicate as a young child. And so dance for me was another form of expression. I felt like whenever I was able to perform on stage, that was me expressing myself and just telling my story of who I was. And so with voguing, I was like, okay, I can take this and I can show my talents outside of just dancing professionally. I saw Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater. I'm from Gary, Indiana, so they came to Gary, Indiana. I think I was 5 years old, and I seen people who looked like me. They had these big hats on. The guys had on like tucks and shirts and vests. And I was like, wow, this is so amazing to see people, Black, color, to do something that they love to do. I was like, that's where I want to go. That's where I want to be. I found a mentor of mine's when I went to school, and he was like, yo, if you want to do this seriously and become a professional, you have to take it serious. And I was like, serious, what do you mean by that? He's like, you have to study ballet. And I was like, ballet? I'm like, nah, I was just a street dancer, hip hop. So like doing ballet for me was like not comfortable. I was not comfortable with it at all. But I got comfortable because I had a conversation with my mom. My mom was a single mother who raised 3 kids, me, my brother, and my little sister. And she just wanted us to do something to stay off the streets. So she put us in football, track, basketball, dance classes, baseball, just to stay busy. And dance was something I really grasped. Like I took a liking to it. I was good at everything, but dance was something that really spoke to my spirit. And once I seen Ailey, I said, Mom, that's the company I want to dance for. And so my mentor, Mr. Larry Brewer, he worked with me. I got into a performing arts high school and middle school, and I was able to train. During that time, during school, I found a school in Chicago. So I lived in Gary, and I would catch the train every day after school to go train in Chicago just to get my technique better. It was a ballet school, so from class, we would have like 10 in the morning to 3 p.m. I would get out of class, and I would go up to Chicago, catch the train at 4, and I would stay till like 11 o'clock at night, and I would come back home, get on the train, do it every day. But I did, and it was fun because I loved to do it. And it was really cool because I felt like I didn't need to explain myself and what I was doing. I felt like I was just there having a good time and doing something that I loved doing. And the support of my mom really pushed me a long way. Some days were hard with balancing schoolwork and also training as well. My mom, she really encouraged us and encouraged me to just stay focused and stay grounded. And so when I found Ballroom and I found voguing, I was like, okay, cool, I'm really good at it. It was a natural thing. Then I met someone, Berlin Ebony, at the time. It was somebody in Chicago. He was like, yeah, you want to learn how to vogue? And I was like, sure, why not? I was like, it's dancing, I can do it. But I wasn't that good at it at first. So there was actually a technique to it. There were elements to it that I didn't know. And so I really had to teach myself and educate myself about it. And I had a good time doing it. Like, it was really fun. I would vogue on the weekends, and then also, practice and rehearsal and stretching. I would actually bring voguing into the studios at school. And vogue, you can make it your own thing. And I was good, a little better than most people because I had a little bit more technique. So I had stretch, and I was able to like spin. That's one of the elements in voguing. So I was able to spin and spot. And so I was like, okay, I can really use my technique as a professional, and I can intertwine it with my voguing technique. And I think for me, that was something that was very special because I didn't really see it a lot. Or when I would watch YouTube or when I would see people do it, even in person, I didn't really see a lot of people using so much like ballet or jazz or Horton techniques. So I really wanted to use that and make that my own sense of style of voguing. And I was also inspired by Willie Ninja. Willie Ninja was vulgar, but he had technique as well. And he wanted to take the voguing technique overseas. And also, so for me, when I seen him and I seen how passionate he was about dance and also how passionate he was about taking the technique and exposing it to other people, it's showing the beauty inside of Black art, inside of Black dance. It not just being poses or shapes or things like that, but it was actually something that you can be inspired by, that you can be moved by, and then you could also create something from it as well. It's not just voguing. It's not just something that you just do. People did this to survive. People did this to eat, to sleep. People did this because it gave them anxiety or depression, and the only way that they could feel free was to vogue. And so I think it needs to be taken that serious. It's not something that's like playful or you can just like, I'm like kiki about it, but it's something that is an art form and that is a freedom of expression and it touches people's lives. Because Vogue is a form of expression and liberation. And I think that is so true because as a Black man, for me, I wasn't as comfortable with my sexuality. And I think being able to tap into my feminine side and my masculine side is something that's very, very powerful. And I'm now just getting to a place where I can be comfortable and talk about that. But I think if it wasn't for a voguing, ballroom culture, finding my family to make me comfortable and to help me discover my voice inside of that I wouldn't be able to say that today. It is a form of expression, it's a form of liberation, and it's also a form of survival. I think people, they vogue to survive. They vogue to be able to do something, say they can do something, not just like think about it as something like as a joke. That this is something, an art form that I practice. It's like an athlete. It's rehearsal. You have to stretch, stamina. So it's like it's nothing to like, oh, I'm just gonna come out here and do it, this weekend. I mean, there are people that do that like that, but there are also people who take it very serious, prepare their bodies, and not only their bodies, but their minds and their spirits. Voguing led me to becoming an ALPHAOMEGA dancer because I think with voguing, there is a sense of discipline, a sense of dedication, and a sense of determination. And I think it's for that alone, that took my artistry to a whole nother level. I also think that voguing helped me in terms of like with my confidence, competing every weekend, it builds up a sense of self. I'm still processing that, if I can be honest, still processing that my ballroom career and then my professional career is really taking me to another level as a Black man, as an artist, as a professional. I always thought I had to keep them separate. And so now, like, growing, living my life, fighting new people, it's possible. It's possible to connect your professional life and your ballroom life. It is possible. It's just all about how it's done. I'm now able to live my dream as an ALPHAOMEGA dance artist, and now where ballroom is, I'm an overall father of a house. So I'm leading a generation and into the next level of their lives, and that means so much to me, being in this position because I'm young. I am young, but I'm also I have experience, and I'm also I'm guided by my ancestors, and I'm guided by a family who loves and supports me. I have my ballroom family and I have my immediate family, and they both are like this for me. And so as an overall father of a house and as a professional dance artist, it is my responsibility to continue to give back because I would not be here today if it wasn't for people who gave back to me.